in a hard place, it's better in control.
My name is Emily Slota, and let's get to know me. I was born February 12th, 2004. I was born and raised in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada, and I'm currently a senior at West Virginia Wesleyan College, about to graduate from my undergrad next semester. And let's get into part one. The first thing that shaped me into who I am today is my Polish heritage. According to Piaget and Erikson, my Polish heritage shaped me into who I am today by grounding my identity in cultural traditions, values, and community. It provided me the experiences that helped build my understanding of the world and gave me a strong sense of belonging. As I grew, these traditions helped me form my identity, connecting with others, and find purpose in sharing my heritage with the broader community. Now time for the second thing that has shaped me into who I am today. Surprise, it's about stress and anxiety. You should have seen that coming. In all seriousness, this is definitely something that has helped shape me into who I am today significantly. Growing up, I was always known as the child who was mature beyond their years. I was called this because I typically just figured things out on my own and just went about my day and would usually solve my problems by myself. So I pretty much was just a very independent kid. In grade 10, which also happened to be during COVID, I had this feeling inside that just wasn't right. This feeling did linger for a very long time, but I just kept telling myself that everything was fine and I just kept pushing it aside. A couple months later, I just couldn't take it anymore and I started hurting myself, and this was when I finally spoke up to my mom. I was very, very, very nervous about bringing this up to my mom. Not because I was worried about how she would react, but just because I didn't want her to worry about me and stress out about how I'm feeling emotionally. And thank God I told her. Ever since I told her, I have never had to worry about telling my mom anything about my mental health or how I'm feeling emotionally. And this is something that not a lot of people can say, so I'm very, very grateful for her. And as cliche as this may sound, I don't know where I would be without her. Now, this was a really huge turning point in my life because not only did I get the help that I desperately needed, but I also gained a deeper connection with my mom. Now time for the third thing that has helped shape me into who I am today. Now, this is the most recent one, and it happened throughout my college life. Long story short, I grew up playing soccer my entire life, and soccer is basically the reason why I'm at Wesleyan today. After my freshman and sophomore year playing soccer on the women's soccer team here at Wesleyan, then came the summer going into my junior year, where I got a pretty significant injury without even knowing. Again, long story short, I've had plenty of knee problems, and so there's lots of cortisone in my knee, so when something bad happens, I just don't really feel it. Until this moment when I literally just could not run. So I came back to school, got an MRI, and sure enough, I tore my ACL. And throughout my life playing soccer, I always told myself, if I were to tear my ACL, I would be done. The recovery is just too much, and mentally and physically, I just don't think I'd be capable of doing it. So to read those results and try and comprehend the fact that I tore my ACL was earth-shattering. But I'm sitting there in the doctor's office and I'm thinking to myself, there's absolutely no way this is it. I have to continue my college career. I'm not stopping now. Like, I worked my entire life to get where I'm at, and this is not going to stop me. Shortly after getting the results, I got my surgery, and that's when my whole identity was basically stripped away from me after about an hour in the operating room. Erikson's theory of identity versus role confusion steps in, and this made me realize that I need to take a step back and think about, who am I? And I know I'm more than just soccer. During this time of my life, I felt very lost, and this was when I had to step out of my comfort zone and find new ways to express myself. Erikson's model shows that sudden loss can force a person to renegotiate the psychosocial conflict of their stage. The injury becomes a turning point. Either it leads to frustration or stagnation, or it can spark growth by forcing the person to discover new roles, identities, and ways to connect, which I think, in my opinion, it did. Something that helped me push me outside of my comfort zone is my dog, Tessa. A lot of people may think that she's just a dog, But to me, this dog is literally my entire world. I take her to college with me, so she is my dog and she's my child. But yeah, everybody say hi to Tessa.
But does growing up just change your body? Or also your soul? Maybe I could just stay the same
Staring down
forever.
the barrel of the hot sun, shining with the sheen of a shotgun. Carol is a little swinging.
It'll be okay, dude.
So as your eyes wanna come, hanging your jeans with
No,
clothespin.
being crazy.
Part 2. Who are you becoming? I'm currently in a stage of growth that is both challenging and transformative. Officially retiring from soccer, it has been a tough transition for me, as the sport has been a central part of my identity for most of my life. Letting go of something that has shaped my daily routine, friendships, and sense of purpose has not been easy, but it has opened the door for me to discover who I am outside of athletics. At the same time, I am preparing to graduate from my undergraduate program and move forward into my master's studies. This academic journey has been stressful at times, filled with responsibilities and the pressure to succeed, yet it has also been deeply rewarding. I have learned resilience, discipline, and the importance of balancing my personal well-being with my professional goals. Through this transition, I am realizing that growth often comes from discomfort. Soccer taught me teamwork, perseverance, and dedication. And now that I am applying those lessons to my education and future career, I am learning to embrace new opportunities, redefine my identity, and trust that my passion and drive will continue to guide me. While this stage of life is filled with uncertainty, it is also filled with promise. And I am proud of the person I am becoming beyond the field. At this point in my life, I am in Erik Erikson's stage of intimacy versus isolation, which typically occurs in young adulthood. Retiring from soccer, a sport that has defined much of my identity, has forced me to explore who I am beyond athletics. This transition is challenging, but it is also helping me build deeper connections with others and discover new ways to share myself authentically. At the same time, I am completing my undergraduate degree and preparing to continue my master's program, which reflects my growth in independence, responsibility, and long-term planning. From Piaget's perspective, I am firmly in the formal operational stage, where abstract reasoning and future-oriented thinking are central. I am learning to think critically about my identity, my career, and my role in the world outside of sports. This stage allows me to reflect on my past experiences, manage stress, and envision new possibilities for my future. What is resilience and wellness to me? To me, resilience means the ability to face challenges and setbacks with strength, perseverance, and adaptability. It is about learning from difficulties and continuing forward even when life seems overwhelming. Wellness, on the other hand, is about balance, caring for my mind, body, and spirit through healthy habits, reflection, and faith. It is not just the absence of stress, but the intentional practice of living with peace and purpose. Together, resilience and wellness guide me to endure hardships while also nurturing myself so I can thrive and grow into the person I am meant to be. I have learned a lot about attachment and healing through a lot of trial and error. For a long time, I struggled with becoming attached too quickly, which made relationships difficult and left me feeling unbalanced. Recognizing this pattern was hard, but it helps me begin the process of healing. Healing itself has not been easy. It requires patience, self-reflection, and learning more about who I am outside of those attachments. Over time, I discovered that focusing on the things I love to do brings me peace and strength. Whether through hobbies, family, or faith, these practices remind me of my worth and help me grow. I am now better at forming healthy connections while staying true to myself. Learning from my struggles with attachment and the difficult process of healing has shaped how I see myself as a future counselor. I now understand the importance of boundaries, self-awareness, and patience in building healthy relationships. My own journey taught me that healing takes time and often comes from focusing on things that bring me peace and joy. These lessons help me support clients with empathy and guide them toward discovering their own strengths. Now time for part 3 of Seeing Myself as a Client. A counselor might understand my story through Erik Erikson's psychosocial theory, particularly the stages of identity versus role confusion and intimacy versus isolation. Retiring from soccer after a lifetime of playing represents a major identity shift. For years, my sense of self was tied to being an athlete, and now I am learning to redefine who I am outside of that role. This transition reflects Erikson's idea that identity is continually shaped through life experiences and challenges. At the same time, preparing to graduate from my undergraduate program and continue my master's studies places me in young adulthood, where the focus is building on meaningful connections and pursuing independence. A counselor might see my stress and self-discovery as part of navigating this developmental stage, learning to balance personal growth, relationships, and professional goals. My cultural background, family history, and attachment style all shape the kind of counseling I might need. Growing up with strong cultural traditions and values has given me a sense of belonging, but it also means I would benefit from counseling that respects and integrates those aspects of who I am. My family history has influenced the way I view relationships and resilience, and a counselor who understands the importance of family dynamics would help me explore how those experiences continue to affect me today. A counselor could support helping me build a greater self-awareness and healthier boundaries, especially since I have struggled with attachment in the past. Strategies such as reflective journaling, guided self-exploration, and cognitive behavioral techniques could help recognize patterns in my relationships and develop more balanced ways of connecting with others. Interventions that focus on resilience, like stress management skills, mindfulness practices, and grounded exercises, would also be valuable as I continue navigating the transition away from soccer into graduate school. In addition, a counselor might encourage me to lean more into activities that bring me peace. For example, activities that involve my faith and different hobbies and time with loved ones. By integrating these strengths into the healing process, counseling could help me maintain wellness while continuing to grow. Ultimately, I would benefit from a supportive, empathetic approach that validates my experiences while guiding me toward healthier coping strategies and a stronger sense of identity. My experiences with attachment, healing, and the influence of my cultural background have all taught me the importance of being empathetic and culturally aware as a future counselor. I learned that everyone's story is shaped by different unique traditions, family dynamics, and personal struggles, and that healing looks different for each person. By reflecting on my own journey, I understand how vital it is to listen without judgment, respect cultural values, and meet clients where they are. These lessons remind me that empathy is not just about caring, but it is also about to see others in the context of their identity and supporting them in ways that honor their cultural and lived experiences.